just need to keep trying something until you really love it enough that you're motivated by the activity itself, almost more so or just as much as the result.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Grace Shockey, and this is the Healthy Fam community where we talk all things health and wellness and how to get healthy for good. Today's video is a part 2 to an interview series that we did with Alex Cook, who is a working nurse practitioner. It's a really cool conversation where we talk about her never having social media, we talk about her sexual assault and recovery and PTSD, her experience with mental health and going to counseling, starting her health and wellness and fitness journey, and how you can help yourself and do the same things too. So it's really inspiring, super fun and cool conversation. If you want to see the full video, you can watch the first part there, but this video is also a great standalone. So without further ado, let's get to the interview. We learned your kind of like backstory, your history, and how you like evolved into your exercise and mental health and your diet routine. What would you suggest for someone who has never done that, whether they're like 10 or 15 or 40 or 60 or 80, you know, like what would you say? Like getting into it for the first time, like I'm gonna take charge of my diet, I'm gonna start exercising.
The global definition of health is broad and vague.
Yep.
And
brush strokes.
And if there's a lot of things you suddenly want to work on, like you want to change your look, you want to change your body, you want to take control of your anxiety, your depression, whatever.
Yep.
I would say that you have to be so careful about what you're going to tackle today. You can really only handle small changes at once, realistically speaking. So maybe today's the day that you purge your social media and start looking into a healthy diet, at least like one meal a day this week. For me, I experimented with doing tons of different workouts.
See what you like.
Yeah, I would try eating all kinds of new foods from all kinds of different grocery stores. I've never been good at dieting.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I'm terrible. I'm not terrible, but I just don't believe in diets.
Yeah.
I don't like restrictions.
Can you tell us like really quickly like why you don't believe in diets? Do you think?
Because I just want to eat what I want to eat.
So it's just for your lifestyle, like.
Yeah. So I've taken like overall recommendations, don't eat tons of sugar. Sugar is also in alcohol. Sugar is also in simple carbohydrates. So the most effective diet is going to be lower calorie mostly, but the right kinds of foods, leaner meats, nutritious vegetables. My approach to dieting is finding healthy foods that I like and want to eat, and then enjoying the results of it so much that I no longer want to eat a box of cookies. Or I no longer want to eat fast food because I don't crave it and it doesn't make me feel good. So if you're just going to all of a sudden calorie count, well, it's so much effort. I hate calorie counting.
Who's got time for that?
Who's got time for that? It really works great for some people. It's never worked great for me.
Yeah.
And it's also not too.
My sister actually does it. Yeah. She likes it.
I know a lot of people who do it. It's a control thing that I just don't need to do for myself. And it's not helping me eat the right things. It's just making me overly obsessive about eating all day long.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't want to think about eating all day long.
Because it's sort of on your mind, like, I gotta count this thing. We've got lunch coming up and it's gonna be an ordeal.
Yeah. So when you're approaching health, I feel like people like to go to dieting as like their first thing. Exercise is its whole other beast, but exercise isn't gonna get you where you want to if you're not eating the right stuff. And your basic principles of dieting should be about the right calorie load from the right kinds of foods, and I very firmly believe in eating when you're hungry and only eat when you're hungry. And if you're not able to identify when you feel hungry, because there's a lot of people who just eat because it's time to eat, or they eat because they're bored, or they eat because they see food they want to eat, right?
And they probably want to finish what's on their plate, because that's something that a lot of our parents, I think, taught us, like, eat the food that you're given, which is like logical, but not really for
or when you're
health.
out at a restaurant and it tastes good, so you eat the entire thing because it tasted good, but were you hungry?
I did that last night, which is funny because I've like actually grown into this very similar principle of just like intuitive eating. I eat when I'm hungry, I stop when I'm full. But last night it was so good. We went to like a really nice like kind of steakhouse in Brentwood, and I got a big plate, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat the entire thing. I licked it clean, and then I felt awful. Like I literally was laying in bed and my stomach was bloated, and I was like, why did I do that? So yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah,
like it's hard, especially when it's like holiday meals, special meals, and things like that. But I've kind of developed my own diet that I do kind of live by, admittingly, but it's not like a title diet, it's not calorie counting, but I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat healthy foods that I like that aren't going to make me feel gross. I eat extra on days where I'm extra active and working out. I eat the right kinds of foods when I'm going to have a serious endurance cycle. I mean, I'm going to be eating 3,000 to 4,000 calories that day
because it's fuel.
Because I'm blowing it on my bike.
Yeah,
so
and you don't feel guilty about that at all.
No, and you can't complete the kinds of workouts, the type of endurance work that I like doing, unless you're eating that volume of food.
That's a good reminder, because there's
you can't
starve yourself and then work out a whole lot.
Absolutely not. And especially when you're building muscle and lifting weights, you have to be feeding yourself to make your metabolism move. That doesn't mean going home and eating a bag of chips and a pizza. You're not going to make your metabolism rock and get the workout benefits if that's what you're eating.
And why is that?
Because it's not the type of nutrition that your body needs. It's not protein to build your muscles. And protein requires more calories to break it down.
Oh, so there needs to be a balance.
There needs to be balance, but your body's going to work hard to build the muscle that you just tore at the gym, right? So you're tearing muscle, you're rebuilding it, and it's going to rebuild bigger, and you need calories to do that, and you need protein to do that. But at the same time, if you're feeding yourself nutritious, smaller meals when you're hungry throughout the day, your metabolism's going to keep revving, you're going to keep burning more and more. So any kind of like a starvation diet when you're also working out is just not going to get you the benefit of where you need to be. You're not going to have the energy, you're not going to have the muscle build, you're not going to have that metabolism burn.
Like I can see why people would think that, like that's, oh, I'm just going to like, it's that relationship with food where you think that like food is the thing that can make you gain weight or like be overweight, and like to an extent, if you're like talking about only junk food, it is, or like a really high sugar diet, but like food literally is fuel. The thing that blows my mind about this, I'm super passionate about feeding your cells and, like, to your point, your muscles. When you tear them, you're like literally need to rebuild with the same like amino acids and proteins and, you know, calories, and I don't know exactly what's in a muscle. I should probably know that, but it's fuel. It really is. And it's also fun and culture and like all of the other things. So don't like beat yourself up about it being fuel, but I think it's so interesting.
And it's a lot of trial and error. I've tried different diets before. I've seen effects, I've seen results with some and less with others, and then I've realized that I process this food better than I do this food. This makes me feel better than this one, so I'm going to stick to that. And I've kind of, through trying different things and experimenting, I figured out what I like eating, which is a lot of protein. I love meat. I love cheese. And I don't eat a lot of bread, carbs, sugar, candy. I have a sweet tooth, so I'll treat myself to like a piece of chocolate every day. I firmly don't believe in ever giving
I eat chocolate all the time.
Yeah,
like, all the time. I eat it after dinner almost every night.
Yeah,
like a good quality chocolate.
Yeah, I'll treat myself with
That's the European.
Yes, it is. I know. I drink tea every day. I have a glass of wine every night. I eat chocolate, and I love meat and cheese and butter. So
like at a certain point, life is life, you know? Like this is the life you get. I think it's also culture.
But I eat when I'm hungry, which is usually 2 to 3 times a day. And I eat till I'm full, which is about like this much, as much as I can fit in my 2 hands, and that's when I'm full. If I'm working out a lot, maybe I'll have like 4 small meals. That's kind of where I top out. But your body will tell you what you need. You just have to learn to listen to it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I liked the point you said about getting into diet very organically, like not just organic food, but like organically trying things, trying out your workout routines. talk more about that. Like,
yeah, so I think when you're ever going to start something new, I think it is helpful to have somebody kind of guide you through it. And if you're completely new, you've never stuck to a dieting plan, you don't really know about workout, metabolism, or whatever, I did try and follow plans from certain people. Like I did a paleo diet once for at least a month, and I really enjoyed it. But then, like, I enjoyed certain aspects of the diet, but there were other foods that I missed, and I realized that there's really no need to be crazy strict on it, and I would slowly incorporate the things that I liked and learned to unincorporate things that really didn't make me feel good. So I used it as a tool to help in practice acting healthy in a diet perspective,
because you had no like previous
because I had
knowledge
nothing
or
to work
discipline with
on,
it.
right? So it helped me.
That makes sense.
Plan and discipline, and it gave me something to understand, and then I would kind of use that as a platform and then adjust as I went. So I've ended up really enjoying a very low carb, high protein diet, but I very much eat a ton of dairy. So I don't do dairy free. I don't have any kind of a lactose intolerance. And then I did some genetic testing. Like I did a 23andMe.
Yeah, I've done that actually.
I've submitted to another platform that used your genetic data to run some digestive, like, genetic predispositions.
That's
And I actually carry celiac disease.
Seriously?
I don't express
Carry it dormantly?
Well, I have like one of the genes for it, so I carry it, but it's not expressed.
And
so
celiac is where you...
That's gluten intolerant.
Yeah, completely gluten intolerant, right?
Yeah, but it's an allergy too.
Okay.
There's a gluten allergy and gluten intolerance. Like a true gluten intolerance isn't just like you feel gassy and bloated or yucky when you eat gluten. It's like you get sick.
Like
you can break out. You can break out in psoriasis and skin rashes. You have really terrible diarrhea. Like it's actually very harmful to your body, and you can't break it down at all. So I have an intolerance because I carry it, but also probably because honestly I just eliminated it from my diet and I feel better without it. But I always thought that it was really interesting that for whatever reason when I try and incorporate like very gluten heavy meals, I really don't feel good, or like I can't drink a glass of beer.
Really?
Yeah, I just feel awful.
Interesting.
But it's also carbonated. Like there's a lot of things going into it. And I can't
and it's alcohol.
I can't say like I have a gluten intolerance.
Also, like that doesn't have to be annoying.
It
like,
doesn't.
A lot of people make fun of it, but it's like very much to your point. Like listen to yourself.
Yeah, listen to
you.
So for whatever reason,
I
also ironically carry celiac disease. I got it from my mom, who has always had IBS, or so she said, irritable bowel syndrome, where foods will actually make her really upset. Like
certain foods, or like all foods.
I don't think she's ever really narrowed it down. I don't think it's been exclusively gluten foods, but my mom most definitely has sensitivities to a lot of food groups, and my brother deals with it too. I think his is maybe anxiety induced a little bit, but they have some intolerances to certain foods and for interesting reasons. And when we look into it, we all kind of have celiac. We all carry celiac, and my brother and I have the inability to process caffeine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so are you drinking coffee right now?
No, I'm drinking tea.
Oh, I thought you had caffeine.
Caffeine gives me like a terrible headache because it takes me forever to break it down. But I've always just been aware of it. So, but I've learned certain things. I learned that I don't need to cut dairy.
Yeah.
I feel fine when I eat it. I don't feel like it's inflammatory. I don't feel
doesn't make you gassy or anything.
Doesn't make me gassy. I mean, I'm a Dutch girl. Not eating dairy would be sacrilege. But I'm aware of anti-inflammatory diets or diets where you cut dairy that have been really successful. So for some people, I just never really got any results from doing that, and I crave like yogurt and cottage cheese and milk, and like I crave that food so much. And it's a really high protein food source that doesn't need to be high fat.
And if it's a good quality, from my understanding, it still has a lot of nutrients and value to your body if you are intolerant to it. So what I'm hearing you say like overall is just listen to yourself.
Yeah,
how does it feel? Like literally, how does it feel? right after I eat this, do I feel good?
Right.
Like in my stomach. If you're not used to listening to yourself, it's sort of like a learned practice, but it's just like, oh, like my tummy feels a little bit icky. I wonder if it was just that, and you kind of will know it like intuitively, especially
like
if you do it a few times.
You know, if I eat a ton of cake, which I love cake, but if I eat too much of it, I'm not gonna feel great. If I have like a really big bready sandwich, or I completely stopped eating pasta. I haven't had pasta in years.
Austin doesn't eat pasta either.
Yeah.
He says it makes him feel super like bloated.
It does. It makes me feel, after literally 2 bites of mac and cheese, I feel like I'm gonna puke.
That's crazy. Wow.
And after completely eliminating foods like that and then trying to reintroduce them, I've understood that like this makes me feel like crap and this makes me feel good. And then ultimately, foods that you really shouldn't be living on, don't make me feel good. Fast food doesn't make me feel good.
And it shouldn't. I don't think it makes anybody feel good, to be fair.
Slamming a box of cookies or a bag of candy. Yeah, I can't really do that anymore. I'm going to pay for that. That's going to make me feel super sick. Or eating an entire bowl of mac and cheese, which is literally just a simple carbohydrate with nothing else.
With a bunch of low quality dairy on it.
Right. Like this is not a complex food with vitamins and minerals and fats and protein. There's none of that in there. It's just carbohydrates. I'm gonna feel insanely sick if I eat that. So I have come to learn what does and doesn't work for me and what I like to eat. But I've started with taking paleo for a spin. I think for people have incredibly great value from the non-inflammatory diets. I think you avoid, I could be wrong, but like sugars and dairy,
corn, soy,
things high in
sugar.
Things high in sugar.
Dairy.
I don't know about it intimately, but I know people have really great success with that. I have mixed feelings about keto. I don't think that that's like a sustainable eating method.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it either. I think it can like get you into ketosis, but
it can get you into ketosis, but I don't know that that's something you want to like indefinitely live on.
Right.
But it can jumpstart a weight loss program, but I don't know that that's like a really, really sustainable way of eating, so I don't usually recommend it.
I tend to agree with you on like the diets and that whole mindset. There's like one thing that's just gonna like fix you instantly and save you. It's just completely like unrealistic, and honestly that's a bill of goods that like the diet industry loves you to believe, but I don't think that's real at all. Like that's
it's not. There are certain things that are really great, that are really helpful, limiting snack foods and snacking in general when you're eating when you're not hungry.
Yeah.
But if you are really hungry and you need a snack, well then you should have something good, like have an apple
like
with
a pear with honey and the apple with peanut butter.
Right. Or I'm all about having like a cheese snack and an apple and some pretzels or whatever.
But all of that is real food.
All of it's really food, and I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
So I'm not just gonna eat whatever I see, or I'm not gonna go and have
I'm a big snacker
fast food. Right. And it's small
but
meals.
They're small. Like I do these like daily harvest, and they're plant-based meal subscriptions, and they'll have little bites, and it'll be like blended raspberries with like chia seeds and some nuts, and I'm like, that's all real food, just a little bit. They're so good.
But you can pick a diet that you think has a lot of foods that you like, and try to stick to it for a while and see what changes you realize, and try reincorporating things you like.
But maybe not thinking like this has to be what I do forever, and if I break it, then like it's
all the end of the world. But make changes that work for you. But be really honest. And for starting exercise, I think it's helpful. Same thing, like choosing a diet, choose a workout regimen, choose a goal. Like I'm gonna run a half marathon by this time, or I'm gonna go to this new gym that has classes. Right? Like rather than just going to a gym
you're like
and meandering around the gym.
Are you doing this right?
If you don't know what you're doing, like it's completely reasonable to start somewhere that needs help, and I'm not repping anybody, but for instance, like a Title Fitness where you're going for a class or a hot yoga studio.
I don't think there are any wrong answers when it comes to fitness.
Right, but you're having somebody guide you when you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
And if you expand it, like I started with triathlons, which is like swim, bike, run, and I had someone to show me how to do it, and that kind of.
You didn't just start on.
I didn't just randomly decide to learn how to street ride and swim in open water water long distance.
That sounds super intimidating.
It is. Like, it's helpful when you have someone explain to you, like, this is the technique, this is what it means when you push yourself too far. This is what it means when you can push yourself farther. This is a realistic time to try harder, up your game, or this is how you interval train for a faster run. I had a friend show me
a good like meal that you might eat
it's
before
completely
after
you're not gonna just all of a sudden one day be this fitness guru. Like, I spent years learning from people who are more experienced, like how to weightlift. I would weightlift with my friend. I'd have people on YouTube explain to me like, this is how you're supposed to do a squat. This is how you're supposed, like, this is the muscle.
This is what like a downward facing dog should look like, or feel like.
So I think that that's totally reasonable, and I pick one thing at a time. Maybe pick a diet to start with, and then maybe the next week start trying a couple of classes at a local gym,
or even one. Like if a couple sounds like so intimidating that you won't do it, like literally just like, I'm gonna go to one like class.
And whenever you're doing something new, like the transition period is hard. Incorporate rest days. Make sure you sleep. You're gonna be so freaking sore anytime you do anything new. If you're still hurting so bad you can barely move, then don't. Your body is telling you need more time to recover.
Again, with it being intuitive and less trusting yourself.
Right. But I mean, I always advocate for, and whenever I'm learning something new, I seek guidance when I start before I can just get to the level where I can be self-directed enough to design my own diet and fitness plan. I mean, this is like, took 10 years for me to do that.
So it's not overnight.
It's not overnight, but you have to, but if you want to make changes that are going to last a long time, you have to actually like it. You know, if you're gonna make yourself go out and run this morning, but you fucking hate running, this isn't gonna work for you.
Not sustainable.
Just be honest. Keep trying.
Maybe it's
something.
tennis. Maybe it's like basketball. It doesn't even have to be like a straight up plank. Like those are healthy too. But like go do a sport if you like that. Like
if you want to do a group sport, or if you prefer doing like you just need to keep trying something until you really love it enough that you're motivated by the activity itself, almost more so or just as much as the result.
I love that.
Otherwise it's not gonna work.
You guys listen to Alex. That is really smart. She's on to something. No, that's seriously great advice.
I mean, I tried to run for years and I hated it. And
running's not my jam.
I just gave up. I was like, screw this, I hate running so much. I love doing all these other things, so I'm just gonna do these things. And it's been way more sustainable.
I love that. All of this. Yes. Okay, so that's kind of some good diet advice there. We've got our workout, intro to workout, and through all of that, it sounds like you're being pretty kind to yourself and giving yourself plenty of time. So like I know we've talked a lot about mental health today already, but like definitely, do you think there's some like mental health exercises or just mindset shifts as you're moving into like, I've never done this, to let's start?
Part of ramping up my working out in my late 20s was part of going through my mental health journey, because this was a way that I could be alone with my thoughts and be active, where I'm consciously connected to my body, I'm moving, I'm appreciating myself, but I'm also allowing myself to just run through my thoughts. And that's exercise was an escape and a haven and a treat. And that really helped to motivate me to keep doing it and trying new things.
Because that feels a lot better than
because it feels so much better than sitting alone and just festering. Like, it helps to release your endorphins and it helps you to have a better relationship with your body. So exercise is most definitely an escape for me and a way to feel connected. So I think it's been healthy, and I think now that my mental health is in a really good place, I'm continuing to exercise because I enjoy it so much. It's something I do with my partner. It's a way that I can spend my day and have a really fun time and go to a new place. And so I've made it a lifestyle and not a chore.
And you're not ever trying to like, oh, I've got to like cut 4 inches off my waist before spring break. Like...
I haven't weighed myself in years.
Yes, I love that. I don't weigh myself either.
No.
I don't even own a scale.
I used to, but like weight fluctuates for so many reasons.
Yes.
And fixating on that number is not an adequate measure of your improvement. And
No.
muscle weighs a lot more than fat, so
it's not even like accurate to what you think you're
So in a lot of instances, like I'm gaining weight because I'm putting muscle on, but I've also, lost an inch off my waist or whatever because I've lost fat. So like the way my clothes fit is kind of my measure of what place I'm at right now, and I've worn the same jean size for like at least 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I don't weigh myself. Whenever I go to the doctor, I get weighed, and every doctor's office I go to has a drastically different weight, and I'm like, none of this is accurate.
Yeah,
None
it's
of this
just,
is accurate.
I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of times, there are always exceptions to everything, like if you're doing competition or if you wrestle or something like that where you actually need to monitor your weight.
Right,
but I think
that's
like
one thing.
the general human probably,
Right.
like,
I
you
mean,
don't need to do that,
I'm
really.
a non-professional, all version of workout, whatever. It's just for myself.
Yep.
And like I'll go to one place and they'll weigh me at 145, and I'll go to the next place and I'm like 176, and I'm like, okay,
Come on, y'all.
this is not helpful. I'm not using this scale. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah.
Feeling good in what I'm wearing and being able to wear the things I like and being able to have the energy and the activity level to complete the workouts I like is what's important to me.
I love that.
Not like what the number is on the scale or
The
can I
inches.
fit, or like fitting styles of clothing that are just never gonna look good on me.
Oh my god, that's a big one.
That was something
That's
I
a
had to
big
let go
one.
of. Like there's all kinds of super adorable outfits that are just, they're just not made for my body type. They're gonna look cute on other people, they're just not gonna look cute on me. So,
Y'all, is there one body type? No, there is not. There is not one body type. I've done the same thing where I used to try and like crank, and I have a very small chest and I was like always insecure about that, and I would try and wear all of these like plunge dresses or like tops that did not look good on me, or like the wrong waist size.
Right.
You just have to like literally find what works for you. And I feel like this is a side note altogether, but I really feel like finding your look, whether it's like through makeup, hair, clothing, like whatever it is that kind of works for you, like skincare even, I think that it's so individual, and like once you find what looks good on you, you're gonna feel like so good. But don't wear what looks good on your best friend, because you have different skin tones and like
it's
eyes
gonna be
and
completely different, and your body shape will be different. But like if you embrace who you are and you find your own version of healthy and you work on experimenting with different looks till you find what works on you, like everybody can look fucking beautiful.
I 100% agree.
You just need to
try a little bit,
try it, and don't try to look like other people. That's not to say that you can't learn things from other people. Like
I've learned a lot. Literally, we were talking about YouTube earlier. That's where I learned how to do my makeup, hair,
Me
everything.
too. Like
Skincare.
trial and error, skincare, hair, makeup, all of that I've learned from YouTube, and I've tried something from someone and it looked good, and tried something from someone else and it looked terrible.
Yes.
But like you go through your own process of evolution and development, but you need to go through some of that to figure out like what you look like.
Yes.
And that's part of just life.
I agree. I feel like one thing that I have like really adopted in the last year or two is actually two things. One, it takes longer than you think. I think that's a mindset shift that I really had to get over with like our instant gratification culture, especially in America, I'm going to talk about social media again. I feel like we just really think that things should happen super instantly and effortlessly, and if it's hard at all, like it's not worth it, or it's not working, or I'm broken for some reason. I've really learned that like if you push through that initial really weird, uncomfortable, hard phase, you can get good at anything, you can figure anything out, but it takes longer than you initially think a lot of the time.
Anything really great is going to take time.
Yes.
And if you care about it enough, I think you'll get there. But I do acknowledge that it's not within our culture to be able to have delayed gratification. That is not something we're very good at.
I think if you can learn that skill, that's going to take you anywhere you want to go in life. Like literally, because just by like being in the race and deciding that you're not going to quit, whether it's whether it's with yourself, like, hey, I'm gonna figure out my skin. Like, I've struggled with acne my whole life, and there have been moments where I was like so frustrated and sad and depressed about the way my skin looked, and I just decided, like, hey, I'm gonna keep on trying, even though I've already spent a lot of money. I've done the proactives and I've done everything and nothing worked, and I've been to the dermatologist and it didn't work. I was like, I'm gonna figure it out no matter how long it takes. And I think, like, that mindset, whether it's with your body or your mental health or whatever, it will take you like a really long way. Get good at uncomfortable situations and doing hard things.
You just gotta be honest and keep trying it.
Yeah. That might sound, I don't know if that sounds like I don't know. I feel like people don't want to talk about that, but it's like, just be uncomfortable. It's okay, you know? But yeah, I love that. I love all of that. This has been so much fun. I feel like we're really running on time, so we'll cut it off, but I'd love to have you back. I feel like there's more to talk about.
I'll come back if you want to hear what I have to say.
Guys, do you want to hear? Did you like this? Give it a thumbs up. Right, Alex? A little comment. Yeah. She's not always on the social media, so we gotta blow her up on here.
No.
You know? We gotta say hi. Alright, don't blow her up. Blow her up. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this has truly been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been really nice.
Yeah, thank you. This has been awesome.
I have so many thoughts that I realize I just don't share.
I agree. I think you need to share more. I'm not even just hyping you up about coming back. I actually love to do a part 2. Like,
yes, this would be great.
Very interesting. Yeah. Anything? Okay, let me. I'm trying to develop. This is like a new interview series that we're working on. So I'm trying to develop like a fun question to ask everyone. It may change on the next video, but I'm gonna ask you. If you could gift everyone with one thing, it doesn't have to be tangible, it doesn't have to be a coffee cup, it could be, it could be anything. It could be a state of mind, a habit, an amount of money, like anything, a book, literally anything. If you could gift the entire world with one thing, what would it be? Take your time.
A really good cup of tea.
Oh, I love it. Go have a cup of tea. Everyone watching, you heard it here.
Have a nice hot cup of tea.
I love it. Okay. Well, thank you, Alex. We'll wrap this one up, but this has been awesome. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who tunes in, and I hope that you found at least one nugget, if not 5 or 10 or 15 in these interviews. If you just watched this one and you do want to see the beginning, go ahead and watch that full interview with Alex and myself. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Maybe write me a comment and let me know what you think and what topics you guys would like to see covered next, because I will do them for you. All right, well, I will see you guys next time. Bye.